see how I want to introduce this one. Got it. Hi, and welcome to this Christmas edition of the CAFMA Connect Cliff Notes of the Review. With me, it's not Christmas Day, but thankfully, Chief Feddema is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
I see you've dressed festive.
I did, and I think we said it earlier, it matches our personalities. You have a lot, and I have none at all. But I did wear a hat. I wore a different shirt supporting the Mighty Oaks. I dressed up.
Well, and we've talked about the Mighty Oaks before. What a great program. I appreciate you wearing that shirt and supporting the Mighty Oaks program. I brought Santa in with me today, another item that I stole from my wife. He was riding a giraffe this morning, and I thought, I'm going to bring him in. And I felt kind of bad because I know Santa had a long night. It's Christmas morning when this comes out, so we'll be clear on that. We're recording this early, and if you're wondering, yes, I did dress like this to go into the office all day. It made people smile.
Yes, it did.
It did, and some people laughed. But either way, we're good with it. We were very disappointed to hear that Santa was injured in the last part of the season.
Yes, no doubt. I don't know what he was trying to do, but pulled a hamstring.
Oh, it looked painful from the pictures, but I'm glad that he's made it around, because he had somebody who could help him out, another little elf. And that little elf, we want to say Merry Christmas, and really, Chief Para, you owe us a debt of gratitude, because with Eric filling in for Santa, he doesn't have a voice during the day, and that is our gift this year to you.
That's a gift.
It is a gift.
Yes.
So this week in the review, John, I wrote about Christmas. I didn't want to talk about anything else in 2020. We'll talk about that next week when we move into the New Year's edition of the review and CAFMA Connect, which we have to do early next week because you're traveling.
Yep.
But how was your Christmas with your family so far?
It's been good. Everybody's healthy and happy, and I'm not sure if they've enjoyed the presents or not, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. The good thing about dads is we're surprised every year when the kids open the presents because, we didn't actually pick them out.
Not so much.
We're just as surprised as they are. So we're like little kids.
They're just lucky they have presents.
Yeah, yes. True. Well, through our entire lives, dads get to be like little kids and surprised on Christmas morning.
Just shows that their mom loves them.
That's true. Yeah. Moms do love them. It's not that we don't. We just love them differently. So Monday this week, for the first time in 800 years, about, give or take, we got to look up in the sky and see the Christmas star. Did you get a chance to look up and see it?
We did. Yep.
I was a little disappointed.
It was far away.
I have to say, yeah, it was far away. The pictures that I saw on the internet of what it was supposed to look like didn't represent the reality.
Yeah, it was pretty blurry, but I think my eyesight's going, but it was good still.
That's true. You're getting older. I mean, but they were still a little bit far apart when I was looking, so it just looked like two stars really close together.
It's all perspective.
It is perspective. However, being that that's the first time in 800 years that the Christmas star has been seen in the night sky, and this is 2020, I took that personally as a sign this year of hope. At least I hope it's a sign of hope. That's the way I'm looking at it. And it did take me down a little bit of a rabbit hole as I was writing the review. It's not bad, though, so you can still read it. And it's shorter this week because it's Christmas and I didn't want to bother you.
They've already scrolled down and looked at how long this is, so
true.
You may be lying.
Yeah. No, seriously. A lot less words. Being more succinct. So, I was thinking about a quote, and I couldn't remember it exactly, so I plugged it into my friend Google, and Google pulled it up, and it was, "Hope springs eternal." And I'm like, all right, what is the meaning of that? Because sometimes I want to use something, I'm going to put it in there, then I look up the meaning, and I'm like, wow, that's not at all what I thought.
Yes, it's dangerous sometimes, yeah.
It can be. But this went back to an Alexander Pope essay, or a poem, an essay on man, published in 1733, and it was "Hope Springs Eternal." And obviously, like everything else, there's a lot of people out there with different opinions on what that means. Some of it's false hope, and others look at it and say, you know what, hope is what we have, and we don't want to let that go. And it felt like this Christmas We had the Christmas star this week. It's the season of giving, although really the season of giving should be all year. It's not about giving presents. It's about giving of ourselves. It's about sacrificing for others. And that's a year-round thing. It's not a Christmas Day or Christmas Eve thing. And just the idea that as we look to the future, we need to continue to have that hope. And it seems like this week was an important time to think about that as that Christmas star was in the sky, and there's not much else to have but hope for a better day tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I think the perspective changes everything. And the goal is to go into, whether it's each day or each year, with hope. And we can certainly hope that as we move forward, it's going to be different.
Right.
But again, I think, like I say, being the season that it is, what we really encourage folks to do is make sure you communicate with your family, spend time with your family, because, not only is it important to hope for the future may be better, but you got to, spend time and love the ones that you have.
Right.
And because you don't know what the next day looks like. So I think if we can encourage folks to do anything, and I think hopefully people have seen, through this past year that we have tried to, keep that in mind and encourage people to spend time with one another, because I think that that builds on the strength of all of us.
Right. Well, and it's vitally important this time of year. I remember being on an ambulance early in my career, and it seemed like around this time we got more calls to nursing homes. And it was, hey, grandma is blue. Well, what they didn't know, because they don't visit grandma throughout the year, is that grandma's always about that color. If you would spend more time with her, you would know that. And I think that, it's important, because in 2020, people have been more isolated, and that's not good for anyone's health.
No.
And so, one of the things I encouraged in the review this week was spend time with family. Yep. As safely as you can, but spend time with family. And if you can't connect with them in person, then use some of the technology that's out there. Yeah. Remember when you're muted, and remember when you're not muted. You should be careful what you call people.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a background to that. But, obviously it's being respectful of everybody during this time in terms of protecting of people and being mindful. But there are so many different ways that you can connect to people. And whether it's your family, whether it's friends, it doesn't always have to be in person. But obviously that is the goal, most of the time. And that's where you get the deep relationships. But there's so much that can be done even during this time that doesn't require that you're there face-to-face, if that's the concern. Right.
Well, in this time of year, as we move through the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, a lot of people do feel a sense of isolation.
There's a lot of hopelessness that can come from that.
Yeah, a lot of hopelessness, exactly. And, it's important that we spend that time. And, I remember my kids' faces lighting up when they were younger, and they're not younger now. They're older. My daughter is nearly 30. She hates that. But, when they would open up those gifts and see what was there. And, sometimes a lot of people don't have a lot of money, especially this year. And, the reality is, I think some of the most meaningful gifts we ever give or receive are those gifts that were made from the hands of a loved one who used their talents, whether it was painting a picture, drawing a picture. Think back to when your kids were little, and some of your kids still are little, and they would draw you a picture for Christmas, and that was your Christmas gift from them, and how special that was.
Yeah. Yep. There was a lot of meaning into someone who puts thought into something, into a gift or whatever it is. So, like I say, gifts doesn't have to be grand to have a lot of meaning.
Right. And for my son, if you're watching this, Jeep parts can be fabricated, which means it's made with your own two hands. I have a list of things because it would mean a lot to me.
Well, lists are important.
They are. Lists are very important. But it's, I remember probably, and I want to ask you this, but probably the best gift I ever received was from my dad. I think I was 16. And, like we said, dads don't often buy gifts. But he was able to get me my first Marlin 30-30 deer rifle. And he was like a kid on Christmas morning, just giving me the gift that he had hidden under my bed because he knew there was no way I was going to find it there. And I still have that gun, and I'll never let go of that gun. Yeah. For you, John, what's the best gift you ever remember receiving?
Well, I think like you say, the tie-in to that gun. I very much remember the first time I received, the gun that I used for many years, and I don't know. I think there was more than just a little bit of meaning to it, but that was a big one. Right. And like I say, that's one I remember. So.
Yeah, that just special times with family. I'm a little disappointed because I'm glad I don't live in Missouri anymore because, well, the weather there's horrible. I love Arizona, but my family's all back there. So the way that we connect is via Zoom or phone calls or FaceTime or whatever, and that really works out well for me to stay connected with them. But I remember being a kid and being, with all the family around, and then as we grew up and had our kids and all the kids around, and I have to say, it's a lot quieter.
Well, the other benefit about Zoom is, if you're getting long-winded, they can just lose connection and
mute.
Off they go. Yeah, mute. There's all kinds of different options. Close the viewer window and go do something else. And
yeah, that works.
Yep.
That's good. So, just to talk about the other real quick, the articles that we added into the review this week. The first one's called How to Recognize a Strong Leader in a Group of People. I think we both know that's important to be able to recognize when people are doing things right, when people have some strong characteristics that really would help the organization.
I agree. Obviously, a lot of change coming up, and that's part of the development of people.
So, and this next one, we just had the holiday potluck administration this week, and you go around the stations, you see people dropping off cookies for the firefighters and administration. So, 5 steps to a firefighter fitness wellness culture. I just figured it was good to finish up the week.
Timely, yeah.
It is timely.
Well, it's the first of the year, too, so
yeah,
we'll all make our plans.
The new year, new me. By February, we can buy some exercise equipment really cheap
yeah.
online.
Yep.
When people figure out I'm not going to use this.
I just like me the way it is, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with me the way I am. That's why I dress like this sometimes.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
That you did that.
Well, you know what? It is Christmas morning, John. I don't want to keep you. And yes. I know you've been looking for
I don't want to be here. I think that's pretty clear, though.
Right? You've been looking for the mute button. I keep seeing you press something over there. It's not. You're not going to find it.
I was trying to press it on yours, actually.
I know. Trying to find that remote one that maybe Jonah put in.
Just turn him off, Jonah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, until next time, I hope you've had a very Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your family. And we will see you next week for our New Year's Eve edition.
Really?
New Year's edition.